And we are back. Welcome to today's predictions for the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations. And you know what? It has to be said, finally, we got some big drama in the Asian Cup. All the upsets have been happening in Africa, but yesterday it was in Asia. Firstly, Iraq beating Japan, ending their 13-game winning streak. Unbelievable performance and result for Iraq, and I saw a few comments yesterday about the people supporting Iraq in that game, and fair play to them. Massive result, gives them a great opportunity not only to qualify for the next round, I think they're guaranteed to qualify now, but all but guarantees them top spot in that group as well, which could end up being massive for them long term in this tournament. And then in the later game, Indonesia went on to beat 10-man Vietnam as well. Another big upset in that group. So, great day of action in the Asian Cup. The African Cup of Nations went pretty much as predicted. Cape Verde won as predicted. Senegal won 3-1, exactly as predicted. And then, of course, the evening game, which I said was going to be very, very close to call. Could swing one way or the other. Ended up swinging in a 1-0 result. But we have got 5 games for you today. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video. And if you're new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel as well. We've been doing these videos every single day. They've been progressing more and more each day. So welcome to any new viewers on the channel. And like I say, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the other videos we've got coming up this week. Let's get into all of today's action in Asia and in Africa. And as always, we are starting off in Qatar, and we are going straight to the game between Jordan and South Korea in the opening match of the day. To be fair, I think this is actually quite a tough one to call. Jordan and South Korea both beat Bahrain and Malaysia respectively. Jordan winning way more convincingly than most people expected. South Korea not winning anywhere near as convincingly as people expected. So I think that makes this game a little bit tighter to call. South Korea, however, now do have all of their players fit again. I think everyone's expecting South Korea to do well in this tournament. But you know what? We had a big upset yesterday with that result for Iraq over Japan. I'm not confident enough to say Jordan get the result today, though. I'm going to go for 3-1 to South Korea, but could be an interesting one. Could be a lot of goals in this one. South Korea are very leaky in defence, and Jordan always tend to score. The other game, of course, is then between Bahrain and Malaysia, the two defeated sides in the group openers. The good news going into this game is that these sides did actually play each other in the qualification for this tournament, and Bahrain ended up coming out on top. And of course, Bahrain performed much better than Malaysia did in the games earlier on this week. So with those things combined, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Bahrain in this one. And that rounds off all of the action for Qatar in today's fixtures, as we then move over to the Ivory Coast. And this is by far the hardest group of African Cup of Nations predictions we have had so far. The reason being, we will get to shortly. Obviously, we'll do each game in part. But firstly, we have Algeria taking on Burkina Faso. And these two sides have met a lot over the last few years. And the last 2 games, they have both resulted in draws. A 2-2 draw and a 1-1 draw. Both set a couple of years ago. They were in 2021. So a lot has changed since then. However, again, recent form. You got to look at those opening day fixtures, and you got to say that Algeria significantly underperformed. If they'd have won their opening game, I'd have been backing them to beat Burkina Faso today. However, given the fact that they didn't, and given the fact that the last 2 sides these sides have met, it's ended in a draw. I'm going to go for a draw once again. Next up, it is Mauritania taking on Angola. And again, these are sides that have met each other an awful lot over the last couple of years. And in fact, these 2 sides' last 2 games have both ended in 0-0 draws. Now, we spoke about 0-0 draws the other day when we were talking about the Lebanon taking on China. And I really, really, really wanted to go for 0-0. I said I never predict 0-0s. And then what happened? It was 0-0. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. Neither of these sides tend to score very often. Angola's goal against Algeria was their first goal in 4 matches. And for Mauritania, they haven't scored many goals in their last few games either. So I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going to go for 0-0 in this one. And then finally, we have Tunisia taking on Mali. And I don't know how easily you guys can see this. I'm actually going to bring this up and show you the head-to-head between these sides, because these sides have played an awful lot in recent times. And just look at those results. I don't know if you can make them out. So the last time these 2 sides met, it was 0-0. The time before that, Tunisia won 1-0. The time before that, Mali won 1-0. And the time before that, Tunisia won 1-0. And the time before that, it was a 1-1 draw. How am I supposed to make an informed prediction for this game when these sides play each other all the time and it's always separated by one goal either side or it's a 1-1 draw? All I have to go on is these two sides' respective performances in their group openers. And Tunisia lost to Namibia and Mali beat South Africa. So I am going to go with my normal screen back on for a 1-0 win to Mali. I have no other way of splitting them. It's a ridiculously difficult set of fixtures in AFCON today, but that is what I'm going to go for. 2 draws and a narrow 1-0 win. But that's the joy of these predictions. They are hard, and that is what I love about it. Football is a very challenging sport to predict, but that is why I do it, and hopefully these results pan out the way that I think. If not, I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section once again. But as always, let me know down in the comment section of your thoughts for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I will, of course, be back again tomorrow morning to do this all over again.